Welcome back to the CAT podcast. Before the break, we were talking about action steps and how they need to be specific. And I think another reason that you didn't actually get a chance to mention was that if an action step is not specific, it can not only not get you where you want to go, but it can be overwhelming. Like you said, get yourself out there. Well, I mean, that could be big.
Right, right. And a lot of people use that as a goal. Earlier we talked about there's three different components to this. In my mind, at least, it's the action steps. These are the daily tasks that you take on a daily, weekly basis. The goals that they are attached to. So actions without goals are kind of, like I said, random. And then above that is a mission, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But so there's some mistakes that people make where they confuse one with the other. For instance, I'll ask somebody or an author, so what's your goal this week? And they'll say, my goal is to get out 50 press kits into the mail or whatever. So their goal is to. But really, that isn't a goal. Your goal isn't to get 50 press kits out in the mail or send 50 emails to journalists. So once you've done that, all right, I'm done. I've reached out to 50 journalists. Hooray, I've reached my goal. But is that really the goal? The goal is probably to get press coverage, right?
Exactly.
So your goal would be to get maybe 5 reviews for my new book. And to do that, maybe you have to contact 50 bloggers. So the contacting of the bloggers is actually an action step. It's not a goal. That's a task that you do to reach the goal. So again, being able to define these things separately is really important. So what's the real goal? And then the action step is the thing, again, that reaches you to the goal. Now, a step above that, which is really... Go ahead.
What I'm hearing you say is that an action step is something that you do, whereas a goal is really a benefit that you're seeking.
Yeah, or it's a target. It's a specific place that you want to end up. It's the end result, I guess, of the action that you're taking. So the end result isn't contacting 50 bloggers.
Right.
That's a step that you take toward getting the book reviews or getting exposure on so many websites. And so when you have a number, I want to have 5 book reviews by March 15th. That's your goal. That's specific. It's measurable. When March 15th comes, you'll know, have I reached it or have I not reached
Exactly.
it? So what do I have to do to get 5 reviews by March 15th? Well, I guess I need to start reaching out to bloggers and book reviewers. Okay, so how do I... Then that leads you to the action steps that you take.
Exactly.
So I hope that's clear. So if you're doing these two things, if you're setting specific measurable goals and you're taking actions to move you toward those specific goals, you're doing better than 95% of the population. But there's an extra step here that really turbocharges this, and a step above that is your mission. Why are you doing all this stuff to get your book out there? Is it just to sell 1,000 copies? Is it to what is your real purpose with this? And to me, that's a much bigger philosophical picture. And I contend that your mission has to do something with helping people, with providing value, with making a difference in the world, especially authors. I mean, it's amazing how personal the stories are and the reasons that compel people to publish a book. Yeah. And so for me, I think you asked this earlier, what's the starting point? To me, really the starting point is figuring out your mission. And I'll share mine. Mine is to inspire and empower musicians, writers, and creative entrepreneurs to make a living and make a difference in the world. That's my overall mission. Right. Once I'm clear about that, then I can say, okay, well, what are the specific goals, specific and measurable goals that will help me achieve or live that mission? Mm-hmm. Then, it might be getting reviews, or it might be having so many people subscribe to my YouTube channel, or whatever I decide.
Exactly.
That would help me reach, help me impact the most people. And then I have to take specific action steps every day or every week to reach the goal, which then supports the mission. But to me, starting with the mission and working your way down is really the best way to go, as opposed to just getting busy doing stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Now, is there a specific, what I'm trying to think, format for a mission, or are there guidelines so that you create a mission that's not too big but not too small?
Yeah, I guess it's different for everyone. Some people, Again, I don't think they're well. I think a mission should be tied to the impact that you have. So it's more of a what's important to you. It's a value proposition. Like my mission is to help young mothers do X, Y, and Z. And so yeah, it's different for every person. It's kind of hard to have a formula for that in my mind. But think of what's your big goal? I don't think it should be like be on New York Times best. Your mission isn't to be on the New York Times bestseller list. It's like, what
Right.
purpose are you gonna, that's more of a goal, I
Yeah.
guess. Because if you're on the New York Times bestseller list, you've sold a lot of books, which means you've impacted more people to do what. So it's like I help fill in the blank. Yeah, I guess there is a formula. Inspire or empower or help blank, fill in the demographic, do blank.
Right.
So I guess if you had to boil it down that way, yes. So who do you help and how do you help them? What's the feeling, what's the benefit that they're going to get from having been exposed to your message?
Right. And I like the fact that you added in the word feeling to the benefit because people they don't buy things. They don't buy products and services really.
No.
What they're really buying is how those things, those products, services, books, etc., make them feel
Right.
and make them move toward a goal that they have.
Right. That would make them feel better. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, people have to feel something. It can be happy, it can be sad, it can be connected, it can there's all sorts of ways. Nostalgic, but you got to feel something. Yeah.
Right. In fact, it's kind of funny that you mentioned sad because most people are like, well, why would I want to do something to be sad? And yet, how many movies out there have as their sole purpose to make you cry?
Right. Like breakup songs and Love
Or
Gone Wrong and all that. Yeah.
Old Yeller. I mean, I can't watch Old Yeller
Cry every time.
every
Yes.
time. Oh, I cry at Snoopy Comes Home.
It's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Yeah, it always gets me.
Yeah, yeah.